let me ask you guys a question. So here's a question for you. Okay, what will make you vote for Biden? Okay, what will make you vote for Biden? What has to be, and for you, the question is, what will make you vote for Trump? Okay, hear me out where I'm going here. Okay. So just think about it. For whoever that voted against Biden or whoever that voted against Trump, you got to ask the question, at what level will you vote for the opposition? Okay, so for me, if you look at AOC, here's how AOC works. There's a part I relate to AOC. This is why I relate to AOC. AOC, do you think she supports what Biden is doing right now?
No, she's actively against
We're going to talk about that here in a minute. It's absolutely berserk. She's not happy with Biden, right? The AOC, the Ilhan Omar, all those guys, they're the
far left.
But when it comes down to voting, who's she going to vote for? Trump?
No.
Or is she going to vote for Biden?
No.
Okay, so now watch this here. Watch this here. For me, okay, I don't like half the stuff that happens where the divisiveness and constant creating new enemies that maybe Trump takes the route and he's constantly going after them, right? But when it comes down to it, I'm going to vote for whoever's for lower taxes, lower regulation, eliminating censorship. For me, so that's where it goes to. Okay, here's where I'm going to go. As a registered independent for the last 10 years, this is where I'm going. Sure. I'm a libertarian. We've not yet seen a solid Joe Jorgensen. When I sat down with Ron Paul and we did the interview, you and I were there together, and I think it was in Houston when we did the interview. It was incredible. By the time you're done, you're like, this guy makes a lot of sense. But the question is, at what point will somebody in your party come out where you're going to say, I'm voting for the person you would least vote for? In this instance, it's Biden and Trump. I'm going to go with you first. So who needs to be on your side of the aisle, which is, let's just say, the left, the center left? Who needs to be on your side of the aisle? We're going to say, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to vote for anybody on the left. I'm going to go vote for Trump. Would anybody make you vote for him?
Repeat you're saying, would anybody be able to convince me?
Let's just say, let's just say the person that's running on your side is Beto, it's McConaughey, it's AOC, it's Manchin, it's whoever. Who would need to be the nominee on the left for you to say, I'm sitting this one out, I'm actually going to vote for Trump on this one?
See, maybe the bigger question is, would I vote for a Republican?
No, this specific.
Because I would vote for a Republican, but
specific,
not a Trump.
So this specific question I'm asking you, like for them, if I say Clinton, they're going to say, yeah, I have no problem voting for Bill Clinton. To this specific example, it is Biden and it is Trump. The reason why I'm using this example is the following reason. Is Biden's probably the least democratic president Republicans would want, okay? Probably worse than Carter, okay? But many Republicans were okay with Bill Clinton. So, and on the Democratic side, Trump is probably the least candidate you would want on the opposite side. Maybe you would be comfortable with a Reagan, hypothetically, right? Versus a Trump. What I'm asking is, who needs to be on your side of the aisle to say, I think it's crossed the line, I'm probably going to go vote for Trump? Who would it be?
You're saying running against Trump? Pose the question specific.
I've asked it 4 times.
Anybody got what I'm asking?
I've asked this thing 4 times. Did you get my question or no?
There's literally nobody that you would detest so much on the Democratic side that would make you be like, nah, you know what, Trump's like.
Anyone?
If Elon Omar was running for president.
I don't. So anything on the 10% left category.
So who would make you say, I'm going to vote, I'm actually going to support Trump on this one?
If the candidate was as equally as divisive as Trump, my whole thing is, we all, look at us. We can all get along. We can all have dinner. We can all have lunch. We can all get along. We're America, okay? He's a Marine. He's a talented guy. He's a businessman. I'm in fine. We all have,
Christian, man of the cloth.
That's what I'm saying. Jewish, Christian. We're not as divided as the media or politics want us to be.
I don't disagree.
What we need in this country is someone who says...
So let me go back to the question.
Can't we all just sit down and have a basic niceness towards each other?
Let me go back
Trump
to the question.
doesn't bring that out of people at all.
For the fifth time. This is where the audience gets upset sometimes because you don't answer questions.
No matter what you say, you're not going to convince me to vote for fucking Trump. So whatever way you want to pose the question, I'm not going to say you got me, Pat.
FYI, that's when you lose people, brother.
Why?
That's when you lose people.
Because I'm not willing to say, all right.
No, let me explain to you why you lose people there.
If you're saying an AOC or a Ilhan Omar, I'm not interested in them either.
This is where your argument loses because you lose credibility.
Because I'm not willing to succumb to Trump?
If you ask me a question and you say a guy like an Alex Jones is the face of the right, and I got a Biden on the other side, I'm probably going to say, I have no clue what this guy's going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to consider that vote. But to you, it's hard to have logic to say, here's what would make me say I'm going to go this way. Because even right now, like, give you an idea. Kodak Blue the other day tweets out. I don't know if you guys saw Kodak Blue's.
Kodak Black?
Kodak Black. Kodak Blue. Kodak Black's.
From down here, Pompano.
Yeah, he just tweets out the other day. Did you see the tweet? Here's what Kodak said the other day. He said, it's not coming up.
Come on, Kai. Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, Kodak Black sends a tweet, and he says, you guys want to, it's not working for you? You got to be kidding me, buddy. It's just the basic
By the
thing
way,
I
I'm just curious,
him.
Adam, how much of your decision-making process goes with, percentage-wise, goes with voting for policy versus the person? I'm just curious.
That's exactly where my next question was going.
I mean, I think it's 50-50. I mean, maybe even more persona than policy.
More
I mean,
persona
I
than
don't know how much does policy, how many people actually get down and dirty into people's policies. I think people are
what their platform is.
Yeah, I think most people are one issue voter or two issue voter, and they
What's
believe
your number one issue?
See, I don't have family, I don't have kids, so I'm not as issue oriented. What were you going to change the name of your Twitter handle to be, or a centrist or a synergist?
Synergist, yeah.
That's what this country needs. It's so
That's
much.
not the question, though. But
that's the
question.
point.
But that's not the question, though. What? This is the guy that's saying we need a synergist.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, the story is not the story.
So we keep doubling down on Trump, doubling down on
No,
Trump.
it's
Imagine
not-
if we had Trump
Who-
president again.
let me-
Imagine we don't have Trump president again.
Yeah.
We have someone that actually the entire country actually likes, whether it's on the left or the right.
Then there can't be a reasonable conversation with you.
Why can't there be a reasonable
Because I
conversation?
just asked you a reasonable question and you can't give a reasonable. It's been 8 minutes. I'm moving the story. I'm going to go to you. So who needs to be on your side for you to say, I would consider Biden?
Biden actually was probably my third or fourth choice out of the Democratic primary. I'm much happier that Biden got in. I thought that for sure that they were going to try to shove Kamala Harris down her throat.
They still may. It's not too late.
It's not too late.
Yeah.
As far as, look, I don't like coercion. When you get into the Democratic Party and you get into the coercive nature of what they are, anybody who increases wants you like what AOC, what we talked about this morning. AOC is going after Biden for not being a dictator, saying he has unilateral powers to do universal health care, to eliminate student debt, to base it. She wants the president of the United States, with the stroke of his pen, to completely and totally nationalize entire
executive order,
and not just little things.
Yeah.
She wants essentially the government through one stroke of the of one person's pen to nationalize entire verticals of our government and our economy. The fact that she's saying that and she's lamenting the fact that he won't be a dictator terrifies me, because they show their face.
So who would need to be on the right for you to say?
I remember I didn't vote for Trump the first time.
I get that.
I
That's
didn't
why I'm
vote.
asking
So
you. So
for
for
me,
you, who is too far right on the right?
I would have voted for Tulsi Gabbard in a heartbeat. I would have voted for, back in the day, remember Joe Lieberman? I liked Joe Lieberman back in the day.
Interesting.
Liked Joe Lieberman. I thought Bill Clinton was a really, when you talked about Chris Christie, when I was with Christie, he was a synergist. And Cory Booker wasn't this far left socialist. Cory Booker and Chris Christie worked like this, and they really did an unbelievable job for the city of Newark. Then they got on a national scale, and they had to go to the extremes. When I was younger, right, and you guys are, a little older than me, you guys remember the way to win was to work towards the center. Now the way to win seems to be to work towards the extremes. They are terrified of their extremes. I think it's because there's no money anywhere else. Only the crazy and the greedy donate money. Guys, normal, everyday working Americans, they're not donating their time. They're not out there volunteering. They're not out there marching. Lunatics are. Lunatics are the ones that are filling the streets. All right? So that's where you can't run a campaign without volunteers and money, and they have to go to the extremes to get this. And I think that's what's pulling our politics
You know what
apart.
I like about Van Jones? Let me tell you what I like about Van Jones. Maybe that could be something as an inspiration for our buddy here, okay? I'm a Van Jones fan. And Van Jones was a communist card-holding guy years ago when he first was chosen to be part of Obama's, administration. Within a week, they had to get him to be gone because the guy was a former communist. He supported some of the principles of communism. So he had to resign. Well, do you remember when Trump went out there and he did what he did with prison reform, and it was something that nobody had ever done, and he came in and he fixed it, and it was just absolutely berserk. And and Van Jones, if you guys don't remember this, can you click on Van Jones Trump prison reform picture?
Wasn't Kim Kardashian somehow influential in that
Yeah,
as
she
well?
was
Yeah.
in a big way, but this is not even a Kim story. This is about a Van Jones who hates Trump. Okay, who hates Trump? If you go to images,
Van
go
Jones
to
praised
Jones
Trump on criminal
goes
justice.
on images, go to images, and type in the picture right there. Go the one to the left, right there. Can you click on it? Okay. See if we can make that bigger. All right. See if you go a little closer. Go a little closer. We can't play that, can we? So go back and go to the. Go back and see if we can find another picture. Okay. Click on any one of those on the bottom right there to the right. To the right. Yeah. Go click on that one. Let's just say. See if that one. Okay. Do you see who's standing behind that lady with the red jacket on?
Yeah.
Who is that?
It's Van Jones.
Who is he? He's a hardcore Democrat, no?
Yep.
But he went to that. And you know what he did on CNN that pissed off Cuomo and everybody else? He started crying. He says, because this is the first time I've seen a president be able to do something with prison reform. You know what that's called? That's called a synergist. A synergist is not somebody that no matter what, the guy cannot do anything right. That's not a synergist. So if you're talking about you wanting to be a synergist, Van Jones to me, who him and I disagree on 80% of things politically, I respect the shit out of this position here. This is what we need. FYI.
Principle.
It's when I ask a question and here's what's said. When I ask a question. So people ask me and they'll say, why do you interview so many communists? You know how many people I've lost because I interview communists? Do you know how many people? Go read the comment section.
Yeah, it's too bad, though.
Of any of the communists I interview, see what they say at the bottom. I say, I'm actually trying to see where we agree.
Sure, yeah.
Where do we agree? I want to understand you to get an idea of where we agree. And then from there you say, okay, good. I sat down with Alex Jones on 9/11. You and I were there. That interview was almost done with. Do you remember when he started
That
biting
was
the apple?
insane.
We thought it's going to be done with. He's
That
going to walk
was-
off the set.
Yeah.
But we had the conversation. And what was the conversation about?
You pressed the hell out of him.
I pressed the hell out of him,
Yeah.
and he was unhappy about it. So it wasn't like, well, hey, Alex, so tell me, what a fantastic job you're pissing a lot of people off on the other side. This is so cool, bro.
Yeah.
The guy wanted to leave. He was not happy with us.
No, his handler was like, let's,
Yeah, his handler.
And he, and
Well,
she
let
was
me
like,
ask you a question. though,
Sure.
Since he's
Yeah.
you're, at any point that you're
Yeah.
interviewing these people, do you say, that was a good point? I actually think,
1,000,000%.
Okay, so you've
1,000,000%.
You've said, hey, good point. Like
to
check-
communists.
Okay, exactly.
Yes.
So go with me now
Yeah.
here. So on individual points, you said, okay, check for
Yeah.
the Karl Marx thing. But at any point, no matter how many points this guy's made, is there any chance that you're going to believe in communism and socialism?
Did you just hear my?
The answer is no, right?
But did you just see what you're doing? Do you see what you're doing? These two analogies have nothing to do with each other.
What now? I didn't make an analogy yet.
But
I'm
you're
asking
making
you a question.
You're making a point, right? Without having answered the question yet. So for you, the question that was asked on your end, you can't answer because
No.
to you,
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I was trying to make a valid
no.
point.
In your eyes, a man can't do anything right.
That's not, Pat. That's not what I
But
said
wait
at
a
all.
minute.
That's
I
not
asked-
what I said at all.
I asked you
what
a-
I said
I asked you a
specifically was,
simple
I will
question.
give Trump credit on certain things. I like what he did in the Middle East.
I asked you
like
a
what he did on
simple
deregulation, but that
question.
doesn't mean I'm going to be a Trump fan
No,
or
but
vote for
do you-
him.
do you
Just like
actually-
you said, you've agreed with certain socialist points,
this
but you
question
wouldn't become a
upsets you a lot.
socialist.
This question
no,
upsets you a
because
lot.
I see what you did there, and that was good. That was a good tactic.
Did what there? Explain to me what did there.
Like I tried to make the same analogy
Yeah.
that you made for me, and in my mind,
Buddy,
it's,
do you
it's
realize?
a very
do you
similar
realize
analogy.
we've asked you 6 times the same question.
Okay, so I'll be very
So
specific. Are there
either you answer to have credibility to get a response from me,
yes, sir.
or you don't. If you don't answer, you have no credibility
Here's
to
my
discuss
answer.
this.
Here's my
it's
answer.
that simple.
Are there things that Trump has done well? Yes.
You didn't, that's
Are
not the
there
question,
certain-
though. So let's skip it. If you don't want to answer the question,
I wouldn't vote for Trump. I've
No,
said it a million
this
different
is not
times.
the question. The question is who on your side of the aisle needs to represent for you to say, I would actually entertain and oppose. This is a regular conversation.
You're saying
There's
how bad
nothing-
does the Democratic candidate have to be?
7
How horrible-
times the
how
same
horrible.
question.
Basically, would you vote
7
for Ilhan
times.
Omar or Donald Trump?
Well, let me ask you
I'd
this.
vote for Joe Jorgensen.
Serious question. How much of that is social equity? Your friends, your family, the people that you associate with. God forbid they ever found out.
I don't give 2 shits
You
what
know,
people think. Clearly,
seriously, honestly,
clearly,
I don't give 2
half
shits about what.
No, I don't-
what people think how I vote. I don't care.
your
Half
your
my
inner
friends,
circle.
half my friends think that I'm a
actually will tell you,
MAGA,
he
a MAGA
actually
Trump
doesn't
guy
care.
because
Yeah,
I'm on this channel.
let me-
and
Yeah.
half the people think I'm a communist
me explain
BLM
why.
I don't give a shit.
There's a person that's, I'll explain why I asked that question. It wasn't an accusation. It's a serious question.
It's fine.
There's a person very, very close to me that I absolutely love who staunch, far left, basically her whole life. Okay? Came up through academia and made her career in it. And over the course of the last 20 months, she's now moving in a direction. I actually got a text from her. She was like, you've been right about a lot of things. It pains me to say that. And I'm like, well, one more time. I got to screenshot that thing. Now she can't be vocal about what she believes to be true.
That's the hardest part.
She believes she'll be ostracized in her community. Her friends will ostracise her. She's seen cancel culture up close and personal. She is literally a prisoner of...
And what's her community, though?
Her community is academics.
Okay, so she's in the liberal Northeast academic community,
Correct.
I'm assuming.
Correct.
Yeah, when you insulate yourself into a bubble, that's what happens, whether you're on the left or the right. If
see, this is where I got to disagree.
It might even be worse on the left.
I got to disagree because my experience has been, especially in the entertainment industry, people on the right will have no problem hanging out with people on the left. They have no problem hiring people on the left. They have no problem being disagreed with in those instances. Whereas the more progressive, quote unquote, the situation is, the job site is, or the environment is, they tolerate no blasphemy.
Yeah, but that's a recent thing, bro. Nobody wouldn't hire you 10 years ago because you liked George W. Bush.
I hear you.
It would have been irrelevant. It's because of Trump.
What's interesting about that is that I actually didn't like George Bush. I didn't like Dick Cheney. And now Dick and Liz Cheney are pro-Biden. Now all of a sudden the progressives are on the side of the war hawk Republicans. It's the establishment.
Yeah, it's a weird situation.
But you say it's a recent thing. That's why we're talking about it, because something is not passing the smell test. This is not an okay thing.
So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.